Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Wednesday, April the 8th, 2015, and welcome to the BCS Experience History, Arts, Culture, and Politics in Review and Discussion. I'm Byron C. Saunders, your host with the most. The BCS Experience takes a look at our rich history. African American history. We're going to share with you some known and unknown historical facts and information from the past and connect the dots on how they have impacted on our present day events and how they will definitely shape our future as African Americans in this country and around the world. Victim was questionable. 18 were acquitted, 6, including a pregnant woman, were let go. Many disagree on the exact number of people executed, but about 20 were hanged, 3 more were burned to death, and chains hanged one man until he died. Another was broken on a wheel. Shortly after the rebellion, New York's legislature toughened its slave codes, and slaves gathering in groups of 3 or more were subject to 40 lashes, and property crimes were deemed punishable by death. Racial profiling, 1712. So you think we have it bad now? My goodness, back then they were catching all kinds of hell just being black and Native American Indians. So this is nothing new in America, folks. And we need to realize that, because when we start with this particular event that took place in 1712, we'll catch you up to just what recently happened when that cop killed that young man of 50 years old in the back and then tried to frame him, putting that taser next to his body. This has been going on since 1712. All right, let's keep it rolling. I want to hear from you. Let's connect the dots now and make sense out of it all. Let's talk. Call me, 347 884 9839. All right, tonight, in Sir Jennings Beckworth. Beckworth's family moved to Missouri in the early 1800s, and he was apprenticed to a blacksmith in St. Louis when he was a young man. In the summer of 1824, he signed on with General William Ashley for a trapping expedition to the Rocky Mountains. Although there were people of many races and nationalities on the frontier who recorded his took him from the Everglades of Florida to the Pacific Ocean and from southern Canada to northern Mexico. He dictated his autobiography to Thomas D. Bonner, an intendant justice of the peace in the gold fields of California in 1854-55. After Bonner polished up Beckworth's rough narrative, the life and adventures of James P. Beckworth, mountaineer, scout, and pioneer and chief of the Crow Nation of Indians, was published by Harper and Brothers in 1856. Beckworth's role in American history was often dismissed by historians of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Many of his acquaintances considered the book something of a joke. Truth is, often something much bigger than merely the accuracy of details. You see, and to discover the truth of what life was like for the fur trappers of the 1820s, the Crow Indians of the 1830s, the pioneers of the Southwest in 1840s, or the gold miners of California in the 1850s, you can find no better source than the life of Jim Beckworth. That's right. You see all those cowboy movies you've seen. You didn't see any black folks, but Jim Beckworth, he was there. He was an important and very needed person to study about the West. His autobiography detailed it in much detail for those who didn't think black folks were moving out to the West. Anyway, we're going to keep rolling. The date, it's Monday. It's April the 8th. The year 1833. You see, Charles Richard Patterson's birth in 1833 is celebrated on this date. He was a black slave who gained his own freedom and became an inventor and carriage company entrepreneur. Born on a Virginia plantation, Charles R. Rich Patterson was the son of Charles and Nancy Patterson. He gained his freedom by crossing the Allegheny Mountains, hiking through West Virginia, and crossing the Ohio River to reach Greenfield, Ohio, a station on the Underground Railroad. There, Patterson worked for the Dines and Simpson Carriage and Coachmakers Company. Later, in partnership with J.P. Lowe, he formed a company that became known for its expertly crafted horse-drawn carriages. Soon, he had bought out his partner and formed the highly successful C.R. Patterson and Sons Carriage Company. Charles R. Patterson was awarded patents for the following devices: a trill coupling, patent number 364-849, and this was in 1887. Another patent, a furniture caster, patent number 452-940. That was in 1891. A vehicle dash, and that was in 1905. And Clay Gordon patented a buggy top that was assigned to C.R. Patterson and Son and co-partnership in 1911. And Homer C. Reed patented a combination ladder that was assigned to F.D. Patterson in 1910. See, after Charles Patterson's death in 1910, his eldest son took over the family business. Noticing more and more of the funny-looking horseless carriages on the road, he reported to the company's board. In 1902, there was one car to 65,000 people, and by 1909, there was one vehicle for every 800 people. Imagine that. That's really fast growth and development in our young country. I believe it's time for us to build a Patterson horseless carriage. On September the 23rd, 1915, young Patterson saw his dream roll off the assembly line, an awkward-looking two-door coupe. C.R. Patterson and Sons could not compete, however, with Henry Ford on his way to becoming one of the world's largest automobile manufacturers. In 1939, the company closed its big wooden doors, and most believed that C.R. Patterson would have been saddened but very proud to know his name on a product still meant the highest quality. So you see, when you look out the window and you see the Ford, Chryslers, General Motors, Hyundai, Toyota, you got to go back to C.R. Patterson. He made an automobile. That's right, black people in America making automobiles. I know you never heard of that one. You got to look it up, folks. So before Ford, there was C.R. Patterson. All right, as we comically say, Ford, fix or repair daily. But C.R. Patterson made quality automobiles. All right, we keep moving. The date, it's Friday. The year is 1837. It's April the 7th. You see, Anderson Ruffin Abbott was born on this date in 1837. He was an African American Canadian physician and soldier. From Toronto, Canada, his parents were Wilson R. and Ellen Toyer Abbott, who had immigrated as free people of color from Mobile, Alabama, or down there we say Mobile, Alabama, to Toronto in 1835. Anderson Abbott was educated at Toronto Academy, where he was an honor student, and Oberlin College, Ohio, from 1856 to 1858. In 1861, he graduated in medicine from the Trinity College, University of Toronto. He was licensed with the Medical Board of Upper Canada in 1862. His mentor was Dr. Alexander T. Augusta. On September the 2nd, 1863, Dr. Abbott joined the United States Army as an assistant surgeon. He was a captain stationed on duty in Washington between 1863 and 1866. He was one of 8 black physicians in the Army Medical Corps and a founder of Freedman's Hospital in 1864, where he served several months as chief executive officer. Now, folks, Freedman's Hospital is in Washington, D.C. It's part of the Howard University Medical Center now. I know Freedman's Hospital personally. My sister was born in 1952 at Freedman's Hospital. Anyway, the name Freedman's Hospital first appeared on the official records on June 15, 1864. Upon the death of President Lincoln, a year later, Mrs. Lincoln presented a memento to Dr. Abbott, that plaid shawl which, it is alleged, formed part of the disguise which he wore on occasions. Abbott became director of Abbott Hospital in Freedman's Village, Virginia, until April 1866, when he returned to Canada. He passed the primary examination for the degree of medicine at Toronto College in 1867, and in 1869 he became a member of the College of Physicians and Surgeons, Ontario, Canada. In August 1871, Abbott married Mary Ann Casey in Toronto. Together, they had 5 children. Abbott practiced in Chatham, Ontario, Canada, and in 1874 he was appointed coroner of Kent County, the first black man to hold that position in Canada. He was a president of the Kent County Medical Society and served as acting resident physician of Toronto General Hospital. Citizens on both sides of the Canadian and USA border mourned his death on December 29, 1913, in Toronto. Wow. Amazing history, folks. Got to take a break right here, but don't go away, because I got more history for you to roll out. You're listening to the BCS Experience on the GoPro Radio Network. We'll be right back after these very important messages from GoPro Radio. All right, we're back on the BCS experience. Hey, I'm Byron C. Saunders, your host with the most. We're doing history, history, history today. I'm rolling out some information and history about some